Something that's been coming back into professional play quite hard at the moment. That, on the other hand,
I want to point out as well, on this particular patch, it is a locked-in Syndra. This is the first time we're going to be seeing her at Dreamhack. This is a new champion for us. Now, Syndra, I want to let everybody know, in this particular patch, this is the Elise patch. This is also the patch where she received her quality of life adjustments, where they modified and tweaked how she interacts with the little balls of energy and whoever she's picked up to throw around the map. So it is the updated patch. On the flip side, almost instantly, Rengar and Blitzcrank has been locked in. So this is a very, very aggressive lineup from both sides. The only thing I'm a bit nervous about for the Seamen right now, there is no HP or tank ability at all here.
It's certainly an interesting game. This is the kind of thing that I think most people expected to see from BYOC team. It's like, okay, they're going to get through the BYOC, they were having a bit of fun, they get into group stages, they muck around a little bit, they play silly strategies, and they don't get out of groups. They got out of groups, and now they're playing the silly strategies. I know Cottonix loves Shaco. It's one of his big solo queue champions, and a lot of people will, without a doubt, always see it and play it, and it's Cottonix. Cottonix has picked Shaco. Is it going to be enough to topple off the coordination and the teamwork of Fnatic? They've picked up their jungle Rengar again. Rengar against Shaco. I don't even know where to start in that matchup. I can't see Rengar dying in the jungle to Shaco that's hiding in wait. But at the same time, I could see Rengar 1v1ing Shaco down if he's not on top of his deceive cooldown.
It's a scary thought when you think about it, but nevertheless, this looks to me like it's going to be Syndra in the middle. I would assume a Fiddle as support and Jace as our AD carry in the bottom lane. That's what my guess would be. Shaco in the jungle and obviously Irelia up top. Whether or not it actually plays out this way, that is the real question to me. On the flip side, Ezreal has made it all the way down to the last pick. He has not been banned, nor has he been selected, and he has been open the entire time. It does get locked in, so it's going to be a Blitzcrank Ezreal bottom lane. He still makes it into every single matchup we've casted thus far this tournament, but a bit weird to see him pick 10th.
Yeah. I don't know what to make of it. I mean, apart from the fact that this lineup from Seven Seas Sick Seamen is just unorthodox in every way. That may explain why it took so long. If they were playing a bit more serious, maybe they'd have picked it earlier. Maybe Fnatic would have been forced to pick it earlier. Instead, they're going to go play with that AD Jace that we saw Heidel do actually at Tails of the Lane a couple of weeks back, the Eclipsia bottom lane. So it didn't work out too well for them there. We'll have to wait and see. We do have a quick update, however, on the Group B deciding games at the moment. Curse are about to go in their last game against Western Wolves. If they beat them, if they win in less than 26 minutes, Curse will go through. If they win slower than 33 minutes, Midgets will go through. Okay. Anything else, and the Wolves will go through.
Okay, so I'm going to assume that the Midgets defeated the Wolves.
That's what it sounds like. Because if Curse win this game, then it goes down to the times.
Okay, all right.
If they lose this game, it goes down to Wolves being through.
So, yeah, it's going to come down to time. That's how it matters. Hopefully, we'll get some updates as the match is being played out. We can see our compositions right here. We have a hall that is full once again, and I want to see who here is cheering for Fnatic. That's what I like to hear. But now, who is cheering for the unorthodox Seven Seas Sick Seamen?
There's a lot of Seamen fans in this crowd.
Fans like the Seamen. We're going to jump into the loading screen. There's an awesome shot of the crowd. You guys rock. Give yourselves a round of applause. Now, we are going to be loading up into this game right now. If the Seamen do not pick up a victory here, they go out at the semifinals. They will place 3rd or 4th. You know, I think there will be a decided match because there is a difference in prize money, if I recall correctly.
I think there is. I'm not sure it'll be on stream.
So they will need to do that. We won't be streaming that. That will be backstage most likely. And there's also the matter of pride at stake. You know, getting to the grand final, knowing you're 1st or 2nd. I think it's $18,000 for the first place team and $12,000 for second place.
Sounds right. I know it's 125,000 Swedish krona for first place.
Big chunk of change difference.
Big chunk.
We are loaded up, and let's see exactly how these lanes match up. Now, Syndra is a champion that I'm not very familiar with. I seldom see her being played and seldom see her in and around the game. And there's something that I want to point out. This is going to be Rengar versus Jace in the top lane. And, of course, it is going to be Orianna Syndra in the bottom lane. So let's get ourselves all sorted out here. Preferences. Who do you think is going where?
I want to give it to Syndra. It's a champion that Extinct's been playing a lot, and as a result, I was trying to learn. I'm not quite as good at it with. But The stun she has is very deceptive. The actual pushback is a very short range, but if you land a ball and then push it, it goes a long way, and it can catch people off guard if you're not expecting it. But we do see both teams now in the bottom half of the jungle. Fnatic in this tri-bush with, of course, Blitzcrank leading the charge, so he's going to be able to land those grabs if he does spot someone. We have the entirety of the Seaman crew hiding in and around this red buff. JWoww, did you spot Fnatic there?
He did. I just flipped over. He can see the vision. Ward comes down.
Drops a ward in the bush. He spotted JWoww. He's going to go around and see if he's coming on the far side. He's going to grab Jerry over the wall. Fail flat. Jerry goes down for first blood to Ezreal.
Beautiful, beautiful play there. Fnatic pick up the first blood. That's going to give at least a Doran's Blade advantage to Ezreal in the bottom lane. And you got to think, that was a bit of an obvious rocket grab. They didn't come around the corner. You lost vision on them. And I was hoping he was going to snare a box, not a champion. But nevertheless, 4 assists and a failed flash blown.
Exactly. You're playing against Shisheko. What's he going to do? Set up boxes at blue buff or set up boxes at red buff? Well, we'll go around towards his red buff. We've got a Blitzcrank. We can lead these charges. We'll interrupt. The boxes aren't actually in the thing itself. We'll fire through into the bush. We saw JWoww just ran in that direction. So either he's got support there or he's going to get grabbed as he runs past. They picked up Jerry instead. Unfortunately for him, he failed his flash over the wall in return and gave up first blood.
You got to think as well, even though he failed that flash, Fnatic may potentially have chased that one. You know, they got him very, very low. They may have actually been, that might have been a much more dramatic fight if they did flash over the wall. But
if Fnatic had flashed over the wall, they'd either need to all flash over the wall or they'd have given up first blood because there was more members of the Seamen waiting on that side to jump on their face. So, I don't know. It'd been interesting to see how it does shape up. But needless to say, Jerry is now the one that's down. And Pekka is actually having a little bit of trouble here in the mid lane with Syndra. Spamming out those balls is starting to cause him a little bit of an issue. And I've just realized we have Seaman playing with balls, and we have a little bit of a...
So Sebastian in this middle lane, he's leaving some of the balls around the map just to play a little bit of a zoning game before he decides to cast or recast his abilities. Takes a bit more poke than he needed to because he missed his skill shot in effect. He's going to miss the secondary one. Pekka is just able to walk out of range of after that little 0.5 second delay before the damage actually gets landed. Come on attack, followed by the dissonance almost. Now Kotzenex is coming in from behind. There comes the slow. Red buff is going to apply huge crit, 105 damage. Exhaust has been down, but immediately flashing to safety. Means Pekka gets behind his tower and prevents giving up a kill in reply. But really, really good damage from the Seaman.
Pekka has taken a lot of poke here. In fact, he's gone through all his health potions before level 3. I don't even think he's played against Syndra once, in all fairness. Like, he's really having issues here against Sebastian. And that could play very much into the C6 Sailor's favour. Syndra is a great assassin. You can spam out one ball, use it as a stun, land another one, pick up the original one, throw it onto Pekka, slow him, do a lot of damage, then use your ultimate, and it will land a massive big nuke. And Rated is going to get ganked by Kotzenex down to the bottom line. Kotzenex get grabbed in under the turret, knocked up, takes one turret shot too many, and will fall, but Reckles is being exhausted. Kestrel's leaping in, does finish him off. Jerry gets the last hit for the kill, and takes the double buff.
And this is going to be very, very scary. He applies the red buff. Power Fist goes up. Going to carry on chasing. I don't know if that potion's going to be enough. Enrated needs 1 or 2 more attacks. Is the Rupture going to land? If Sinai can get it, it will be a kill. Both champions pull back. Rocket Fist is going to be able to get it. He lands that rocket grab and picks up the kill. Immediately counterplay. The scary thing here is for me now that J-Re on that Fiddlesticks has a blue buff. He's going to be able to spamming those dark winds out all day long. He's going to be able to drain and fear as much as he likes. Middle lane, Sebastian is being forced back by Pekka. He was losing the initial trades, but now that he's got a couple more levels, he's able to trade a little bit more evenly. Up in the top lane, Soaz gets ignited. This is a huge battle back and forth, every single lane exchanging. But I want to quickly go down to the bottom. The way Kotzenex engaged, he was sitting just over here, used his Deceive to hop over the wall, get out of turret range and out of turret vision, and come in from behind with stealth. It was a really, really great play.
Sebastian taking one shot too many from the turret, and Pekka levels up to save his life. Kotzenex comes back in to try and throw a shift, gets shielded instead. Pekka has so much more mana than he thought, and he just got that shield enough to go. The last auto attack, though, from Sebastian was in mid-air as Pekka got the kill. Pekka leveled up and got the health back that he needed, and that alone saved his life.
Level WTF. Level WTF. 2,000 gold difference. Enrated tries to land a rocket grab. This time only grabs the very, very front minion. That's going to accomplish absolutely nothing. Up in this top lane, 35 CS for Rengar to 16 for Irelia. That is an immense difference right now, especially on a champion like Irelia who, you know, she can do very, very well at low levels, but she needs to pick up that Phage, needs to pick up a Wit's End or something similar, and then she can really snowball a lane very heavily.
Unfortunately here for the C6 Seamen, they are down by 2,000 gold already. So, I mean, bottom lane, they're going to have a little bit of advantage here for a little while because, of course, Jace is going to get that little bit of free farm while Fiddlesticks has that blue buff and the red buff and can start spam harassing on these two. But ultimately, I don't think it's really going to help them out in the grand scheme of things. You can already see he's down 15 CS and records. Although he gets feared, he's now going to get Signers get left in on by Kestrel. Does get that arcane shift away. He is now taking a lot of damage from and rated. That Blitzcrank really actually quite hurts, especially onto Kestrel, the AD carry version of Jace.
In the middle lane, they tried to jump onto him, but they couldn't put anything together, unfortunately. J-Ree's buffs have just won a rocket grab, just barely missing the back of the surprise party Fiddlesticks. Almost catching him out and almost securing potentially another kill. But of course, that Dark Wind, when it bounces between two champions, like you can see it was about to do, actually deals a lot of damage, and that silence is infuriating. Peke getting ganked once again. He's decided to turn the pressure on. Attacks come out. Shockwave only manages to catch Cotnex. It did not land into Sebastian. The auto attacks are there. Uses the command attack once more. Is going to be able to pick up a kill. And the Seven Seas Sick Seamen put another point on their board. Cyanide was running in there with those boots of mobility. You can see he has an Oracle's Elixir. He's displaying it to his opponents. That when he drinks it, it makes it very clear that he now is clearing wards. Sunrise just dinged 6, so he's going to be able to move around, throw on that Hunter in the Night, or on the Hunt rather, pick up the stealth and get to safety if required. But nevertheless, a kill for Shaco is going to help him out after that slow start.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit better if it had gone to Cinder. Of course, Shaco, not the best late game carry. Just needs to get these ganks off early, do a lot of damage in the lane, and then allow his carries to pick up the kills. But considering they are down 4 and 2 at the moment, just killing that around and giving Peke some time out of lane, giving Cinder some time to farm is a bonus. He is now 10 CS up over Peke, so it will help him out ever so slightly. And started with those spell pen boosts, that movement speed really will help Cinder getting in range, landing all her abilities, then on top of the slow, and of course dodging the ball when Peke throws it out every time. And
Cinder's base damages are incredibly high. Without even purchasing too much ability power, she can literally blow you off the face of the earth. So Peke's going to need to be on the ball, excuse the pun, with his command protect and make sure he gets it up in time to at least mitigate some of the damage. And of course, if possible, just flash to safety. He does have it available, as does he have his ignite. Shockwave will be available shortly. Rocket grab once again catching a creep on this bottom line. And after that high octane start to the game, we've settled into this farming phase, as we do tend to see around the 8, 9, 10 minute mark. I'd like to see at what point the teams decide to start doing Dragon, because we've seen some very, very early Dragons throughout this tournament.
That's a very good point, especially when you've got Fiddlesticks here on the side of the 7 Seas Sick Seamen. We do have Cyanide coming in the bottom lane. The knockup is going to land on Jerry. The grab's already been used. The silence hits both of them. Kestrel trying to do a good job to dodge to block what skirmishes he can. Records lands the ultimate. The ignite is ticking down. He's a flash under turret, but Fnatic have not lost much health at all. But it does look like the C6 Seamen made it out alive.
Yeah, really nicely done. It was an awesome fear onto Blitzcrank. As soon as he was getting in range to land a rocket grab, J-Ree immediately knew what was going on. He threw that fear out. It prevented a rocket grab or a power fist from landing, and it just bought them enough time to get away. And also, of course, the acceleration gate from Jace, just giving them that movement speed advantage to get out of range once the silence had worn off and the fear. So 2-4, bottom lane tower takes a chunk of damage. Middle lane, once again, looking like it's setting up a stun onto Peke. He takes some attacks and actually forced a flash. Shockwaves under the tower, completely missing everything. Now the Rupture comes up. Feral Scream gets used by Cyanide, but completely whiffing that ultimate. He was anticipating a dive, and he was trying to put as much damage down as possible. Shaco's little clone running forward, trying to pick up some kills. And look at the damage from Syndra already. Wave clearing with a single Doran's Ring. It's a very, very powerful base damage as champion.
Now, Peke, without that shockwave, now it's going to give Cinder a little bit of safety. She knows she can get in close. She knows she doesn't have to be scared or worried of being pulled into the turret. She can spam those balls down and then unload onto Peke. Does take a little bit of damage as he comes back around from that Wraith camp. Both of them have their blue buff up, but Cyanide now here with his oracles. He's just roaming around towards the mid lane, clearing wards as he goes. But Syndra coming a little bit too far forward. He's going to get caught by the knockup right in the middle. Cotnex is going to come in, but there's a massive amount of burst damage. Sebastian will fall. Cyanide did use his feasting on that. Peke now out of mana. Cotnex is here under the turret. Going to try and avoid that ball before that blue buff really regens too much of Peke's mana. But now, blue buffs both back onto the side of Fnatic. Yep,
by stealing away that blue buff, that's really going to help Cyanide out. He's already 1-0-1, he's got those boots of mobility, but the fact that he's going to be able to donate this next blue buff when it comes up around about the 12-minute mark, and he's going to continue farming for another minute or two with the stolen buff, It's just going to help his clear times. It's going to help him cooldown reduction. If he starts to set up ganks or something similar, that's going to play into his favor as well. So it's a really, really good pickup on his side. A great kill to secure. 2,000 gold difference. Soaz has returned to lane with his Giant's Belt as well as the Chain Vest. Still holds that 20 CS advantage over JWoww, but he's playing a little bit scared. In the bottom lane, Enrate is trying to get into range. Fear is up. Kestrel realizes now that the Cho'Gath is there. Rupture and Silence goes down. Reckles is trying to pick up the kill onto Jayri. He misses the Mystic shot. Now Kestrel's going to jump forward. Finally goes down. Reckles is going to back off just a little bit, get out of range. Enough for Cho'Gath to pick up a second kill on the game. 2 assists, shoved down the lane, and this is probably going to signal Dragon.
It should signal the Dragon, especially as mid lane has just backed off to Copnex has backed off. Mid lane is actually making his way towards the top side. Sebastian is here. He's going to come up around behind Soaz. Soaz leaps in onto JWoww. The Ignite goes down. He does immediately go into stealth. They know where he's going. Heading down towards the river. He hasn't quite come out of the stealth yet. JWoww goes to find him. Now they spot him. Does pop that W for getting a little bit of health back, but ultimately makes his way into his friendly jungle and he's out to safety. Sebastian is just here to end up pushing this lane into turret.
Yeah, just going to shove it down. Nice play, nice positional play. Unfortunately, going that extreme long way around, it bought Rengar the time to run through the river. And of course, because he was stealthed up, you couldn't stun him, you couldn't jump onto him, you couldn't put any more damage down, and he gets away with his life, holding that CS advantage and most likely going to be able to complete his Sunfire Cape right now. See how much gold he has. 1,000 in the bank, and yes, Sunfire Cape completed. This is what we've seen out of him in the previous game as well, opting to go Sunfire Cape on Malphite first, following it up with a Philosopher's Stone. Pickett realizes he's in a little bit of trouble. Come on, attack, dissonance, shockwave. He's keeping Sebastian away from him. Does take a stun. Ignite is ticking. Look at the damage onto Cotnex. Does he pick it up? He picks up the kill before he goes down, and then Sebastian closes him out. Really, really good play. He knew exactly which one was the real Cotnex. Cyanide's going to carry on chasing. Feral Scream is going to land the silence. Sebastian just jukes past it, eats a feast. One more auto attack. Burns his exhaust as well. And the clone of Shaco finally goes down. Cyanide 3-0-2 once again. The Seven Seas Sick Seamen, they create opportunities. They put themselves in a good position, but Fnatic simply reply a little bit more effectively.
Yeah, and we're going to see Enrate go straight in onto Kester in the bottom lane, but there's the ult comes up from Jerry with a nice bait forward. Going to try and stick onto Enrate. They're going to do a lot of damage to him, but he's a very, very tanky support. He's going to flash, miss the grab onto Jerry as Reckles shows up, trying to do a lot more return damage on the Reckles. Enrate is still standing. The mana shield has been burned through. Reckles will fall down. Oh, sorry, Reckles will pick up Kestrel. Fear's going to run Reckles actually in the right direction towards Jayri. Jayri's going to keep coming because Cotnex is down here now. Silence has been used, but Cotnex do have the damage to get through the pair of these. Does dodge that Mystic shot by dodging it onto a minion. Now Cyanide is now coming around the backside. Jayri going to get caught by that silence. He can be feasted, but Reckles is going to finish him off with a couple of auto attacks himself. The grab lands onto Cotnex in stealth, and Reggie doesn't realize it. The shiv goes in the backside. There's the following knockup, but Cotnex will get the kill before he falls down to Enrated.
Up in the top lane, so isn't JWoww fighting the whole time. That rocket grab, nobody even knew that Shaco was there. He was just out of range. He'd stealthed, he'd used the deceive, and he got pulled right back into 3 members of Fnatic. JWoww's dive forward. He's trying to pick up a kill onto Soaz. Decides not to carry on chasing because he did use the Blade Search to close the distance. And at the moment, Fnatic 12-4 up, 7,000 gold at the 14-minute mark. Once again, top lane going back and forth. Soaz jumping out of the bush, and Ignite is there. Carries on chasing. One more attack. Is it enough? JWoww somehow survives. Soaz gets away. Thanks to the health and the armor, he survives the turret hit as well. But that top lane is incredibly volatile, even with a 30 CS advantage. It's, Irelia still trading evenly.
That's just straight up Irelia. Why I just wicked love her so much. She's awesome.
Nerf Irelia.
Yes, nerf Irelia. But a quick battle cry will give Soaz plenty of his health back and push that wave into turret 2. So he's going to base go and shot by a couple more health potions by a Bad Merc Treads, tier 2 boots. We do have Enrated now hiding in the mid lane with Peke, waiting for someone to come back to lane. It's not going to happen. He's just going to have to help him push down this turret. The CS advantage that Syndra used to have has been swung back in the other direction now because of these kills. Cotnex will stealth out, come into the mid lane, try and land that slow. Jerry's going to come up behind her. Will he have the feed? He's going to get grabbed into the turret by Enrated. Doesn't take any shots, but he does take a lot of damage from the combo of Peke and Enrated. Blitzcrank and Orianna do have now Syndra back. Kestrel's in here too. The 5 members of the Seamen are here hiding in this mid lane, pushing onto this mid turret slowly but surely. They realize it's not going to happen through this Orianna as a Blitzcrank. They do have to back away. Now Enrated is charging in onto Kestrel. Does get knocked back. Where's the grab? Is going to land. Knockup's going to go through. The shockwave's going to miss completely. It's the second miss from Peke this game. Kestrel will fall down to a quick knockup from Cyanide. Peke has taken the burst from Syndra there. He's going to drop down to Cotnex. Syndra is taking a lot of damage from Enraged. Just in auto attack, he's going to get knocked back slightly. He's going to get chased under this tier 2 turret in the mid lane. Fear comes out from Enraged onto J-Re. J-Re onto Enraged at the last second. It does save his life. Cyanide, however, managed to pick up the kill onto Cottonix in the Seaman jungle.
Yeah, with a beautiful rupture. It was blind. He couldn't see Shaco. He was deceived and invisible. But Cyanide knew exactly what the movement speed was. He predicted where it was going to be. And of course, it's a very large radius on that rupture. It covers a fairly good chunk of ground. And in the jungle, it's only so wide. The entire width was covered by that rupture. So he managed to secure himself the 4th kill of the game. 4-0-5 on this jungle Cho'Gath. Cyanide, we've said time and time again, he's not particularly known for his Cho, but he's playing extremely, extremely well. I do see we have an update here about the matchup, so while Pinky's having a quick look at that to read it for us, we take another quick look at the gold. You can see the numbers on the bottom of your screen, 4,000 in the top lane to 5,300, and just look at the numbers, how much of a difference there is.
It's an update on our tiebreaker situation. So while there's a little bit of a downtime in this game, we will go through these. Game 1, we know Curse lost to Midgets. Now that got us off the bat and right before this semi-final started. Game 2, Copenhagen Wolves beat the Midgets. And Copenhagen Wolves versus Curse is currently in progress. That is the game we're waiting for a result on. This game, 16 minutes in, we know Curse had to win in less than 26 minutes to advance. J-Re's going to go on and affect Peke in actual fact in the mid lane. Can't quite get in range to do most of the damage on that ultimate though. We'll wait and see. We do get a great grab onto J-Re, and that executes him with the help of Peke, even through the exhaust.
Up in the top lane now, Cottonix tries to pick a fight with Soaz, but it's not one that he can really trade with evenly. That Sunfire Cape and Merc trades, it's going to block a lot of magic damage, a lot of armor, and it just allows him to tick over the DPS. In the bottom lane, Syndra and Ezreal are poking head to head. This is the battle that's going on. Exhaust goes down, Reckles is moving back to his tower. They're trading damage. Look at the burst onto Reckles. He gets away with around about 100 HP. The rest of his team is forcing a fight onto this middle lane. Cottonix dropped very, very low. One auto attack goes up, but it's not going to be enough to kill him. 17 minutes, they're onto the inhibitor now. This is potentially the fastest game that we have had here at Dreamhack Winter. The ultimate from Shaco detonates, dealing some damage to Fnatic members, but it's not going to dissuade them. They want this inhibitor. They will not give up on this inhibitor, and they're going to dive into it. Enrated misses his rocket grab. With the super creeps in the middle lane now spawning, Fnatic fall back, and they're extremely happy with what they've just picked up.
Yeah, 17 minutes inhibitor is going to give him a lot of map control, a lot of freedom. They're not quite finished yet. Jerry does take a bit of hope from Peke. The grab over the wall doesn't quite land. Enrated is a little bit too far to the left, so as now out in the middle lane, Kestrel going to dance a recall, gets snared up, straight burst down. There's the following chain knockup. Kestrel will drop down to Soaz. JWoww is now trying to get through Peke, but he cannot quite get through with the damage. Another missed ultimate from Peke, really off his game with those shockwaves today. JWoww will make it out alive. Great stun from Cinder, hitting 3 members of Fnatic. We'll now try and throw that ball onto the creeps just to finish him off and wave clear it. They have found Cottonix in the jungle. Peke will grab that kill. 5 to 18.
Wards win games, ladies and gentlemen. It's that simple. Cottonix stood in the ward. He had no idea that it was there. Now all of a sudden Sebastian's going to pick a fight 1 versus 4. He's going to put a lot of damage down, but not enough to secure a kill. And you know what? Unfortunately, you cannot go in 1 versus 3, 1 versus 4. Fnatic have still not recalled. This is the same inhibitor siege that we were watching 2 minutes ago, and they are still fighting. They are still pushing these lanes, picking up the creeps, collecting all the gold. And a couple of the guys have spent it, but you know, good chunks of gold. Ezreal, 8,000 gold. Jace, 4,000 gold. It is an immense difference. Soaz does finally get caught up. He's going to try to get away with the stealth. I don't know if it's going to be enough. It is going to be enough. He just activates that ultimate, runs away, and gets away from 3 members of Seamen.
Does just pops that stealth, walks on another ungankable Rengar. We do see Cottonix stealthing over the wall, trying to get onto Cyanide. He lands a slow, going to drop the box down there. Will fear Cyanide briefly. Jerry's now coming around one side, but I don't think between these two they have the damage to go through this guy. Knockup's going to go down onto the fake Cottonix. The fear's going to come out and silence on Cyanide. Jerry starts channeling his ult, but Cyanide does not take it any damage. This is a comedy sketch. Cyanide will finally get very, very low. Quick to see. There's the feat. And Rated comes in with the grab to save. There's the shield from Peke. Is he going to stop the Ignite? The last tick of Ignite will wear off. Cyanide gets out on 28 HP. The rest of Fnatic keep chasing in. Double kill for Rated. Going in on towards Cinder. Reckles manages to pick up that kill with the help of Peke. Kestrel is on his own. Running back to this tier 3 turret. And the inhibitor turret in the bottom lane. Doesn't make it out safely.
Fnatic with the plays. Command Protect was enough to save Cyanide's life, and that rocket grab ended Shaco's. What a fantastic, fantastic play. I believe that surrender vote has come in, and the 7 Seas Sick Seamen have been deleted. Fnatic GG!